Hi spooky stitchers, welcome back to Stitching with Samantha. Today we're going to be making my Halloween handprint keepsake. I'm going to be walking you through how to complete this project from start to finish. Let's go. All of these supplies will be linked in my PDF tutorial on Etsy, and I'll also put links in the description of this video. The first thing you're going to need is a Beechwood embroidery hoop, and you're also going to need white Kona cotton fabric. For the paint on the handprint, I'm using Liquid X, and this is Vivid Red Orange. For the thread, I'm using DMC embroidery thread. I only used 4 colors, 977, 3822, 310, and BLANC. You will also need an embroidery needle. I like to use DMC embroidery needles, and this is a size 5 needle. It's my favorite size to stitch with. You may also want a fun patterned fabric for the back of our hoop to cover up your stitching. The last thing you're going to need is the Halloween pattern. So these are going to be on my Etsy shop. You can do a digital version and print yourself at home on this water-soluble stabilizer, which I will link in the description, or you can also purchase this to be mailed to you and I will customize it myself. We are going to peel the pattern off the backing and we're going to stick it on our embroidery hoop. This material sticks on like a sticker and is very adhesive, and then we're going to trace our handprint. So make sure that you go with where the paint is, that way it has a nice finished look, but we are also going to trim and rearrange a few things and make it perfect. So we're going to peel it off after we've traced our handprint and put it back on the backing, and then we're going to cut it out. Putting it back on the backing just makes it easier to cut out. I just do a general cut here because once it's actually back on the handprint, you can go ahead and trim it, and we can also adapt the pattern a little bit once it's on the handprint. So don't worry too much about this step, just get the general handprint and stick it back on. So once we've cut out the handprint, you are going to once again take it off of the backing and we're going to stick it back on the painted handprint. Make sure that it lines up as close as you can, and then we are going to go ahead and adapt it a little bit and make sure that it looks perfect. So here I'm going to take the excess from my pattern, and if there's any spots of the handprint that you think aren't going to stitch well or the icon is not very visible, you are going to replace it with another piece of the pattern. So as you can see here, I cut out a little piece of the bat and I'm going to stick it on that little handprint, the finger at the top. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the star and any other places in the pattern that you think need to be adapted. This is an optional step, but it does help when stitching if it's exactly how you want it. And then we're also going to take our name patterns and our custom text and we're going to put it on the top and or bottom of our hoop. Once the pattern is on the hoop how you want it, it is time to stitch. We're going to be stitching with our black thread 310 first, so we're going to go ahead and separate out 2 strands. For all of the stitching on the handprint, we're going to be using 2 strands of thread. Each strand comes with 6, so we're going to separate out 2 and then thread our needle with it. And we're going to pull our thread so that it hangs down about 3/4 of the way. And then on the longer end of our thread, we are going to tie a knot. To tie a knot, you can do a normal knot or you can try this method. I wrap it around my finger once, roll it, and then pull it to the back of the thread. And then I do that one more time and it's going to have a nice clean knot at the end of my thread. And now we're ready to stitch our bats. To stitch a bat, I'm first going to outline the bat and back stitch. So I'm going to bring my needle up and then back down about 1/4 of a centimeter. Then I'm going to skip ahead another 1/4 of a centimeter, bringing my needle up, and then I'm going to bring my needle down at the end of my last stitch in the same exact hole. So then I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to do the same thing, skip forward another 1/4 of a centimeter, bring my needle up, and then back down at the end of my previous stitch again. And that's why it's called back stitch, because each time you're going back to your previous stitch. To change directions here, we're just going to go on that new line about 1/4 of a centimeter in that direction, and then do the same thing, bringing our needle back to the end of our previous stitch in the corner. You're going to keep doing back stitches for the entirety of the outline of the bat, and then after that, we're going to be doing long and short stitch to fill in the center of the bat. To start, I'm going to bring my needle up in about the center of the bat. And I'm going to bring my needle back down in the very bottom point, and this first stitch can kind of be anywhere. Long and short stitch is basically just a series of stitches next to each other in the same direction, long and short, to fill in a section. So I'm just going to do one stitch here, and then beside it I'm going to bring my needle up a little bit further down and then bring it back down to the bottom of the bat. We're going to keep doing this, doing kind of random long and short stitches to fill in the bottom, and then we're going to come up at the top of the bat and then bring our needle back down in the middle of our stitches at the bottom. So we're going to do this for the entire bat, just kind of filling in the section. There's no wrong way to do this part, and black thread hides a lot. Next, with our black thread, we're going to do the spider web, and we're going to be doing back stitch for the entire spider web. So we're going to bring our needle up at one of the points of the spider web, and then at the first little notch, we're going to bring our needle back down. And then going down that line, we are going to bring our needle up at the next spot in the spider web, and then bring it back down to the previous point in the end of our last stitch. Then we're going to come up in the middle of the spider web and once again come back down at the end of our previous stitch. So as you can see, I'm going with the sections of the spider web. We're going to keep doing this for all the lines, and then on those sections in between the lines, you're going to do little straight stitches to connect each point. So essentially for the spider webs, we're just going to bring our needle up and back down for each section of the web. Still using our black thread, we are going to stitch the sparkles using straight stitches. So we're bringing our needle up on one side of the sparkle, and then we're going to do a straight stitch for the horizontal line. And then we're going to bring our needle up at the top of the sparkle and do a straight stitch to the bottom of that line. We're then going to bring our needle up in the center of that stitch towards the top, and then we're also going to split the stitch kind of towards the bottom. And we're going to do this twice, and this just gives a fuller look to that center section of the sparkle. We are now going to stitch the ghost, and with our black thread still, we are going to outline the ghost in whipped back stitch. So we've already done back stitch, but I'm going to show you how to whip it, which provides a raised look for the outline of the ghost. So with back stitch, once again, you're going to go forward about 1/4 of a centimeter and bring your needle back down at the end of your previous stitch. And we're going to do this for the entire outline of the ghost. And then I'm going to come back and show you how to whip our back stitch. So you're going to bring your needle up at the very point of the ghost. And then for every back stitch, we're going to bring our needle underneath each stitch from the same side each time. And we're going to pull it tight. So I went through the right side, so for the second stitch, I'm going to go underneath from the right side again, and I'm going to keep going through the right side underneath my back stitches for the entire outline of the ghost. And this is just going to make a bit of a thicker stitch, and it's going to look really nice and provide a good outline for when we fill in the ghost. And then at the end, you're just going to bring your needle back down at the end. For the eyes of the ghost, we are going to be doing straight stitch, so we're just going to bring our needle up at the bottom of the eye and then back down at the top of the eye, and we're going to do this 3 times for each eye so that it fills in. I'm now done with my black thread, and I'm also running out of thread, so I'm going to show you how to tie off on the back. So I bring my needle underneath my stitching on the back, and then before I pull it tight, I'm going to bring my needle through the little loop, and I'm going to pull it tight into a knot. So I'm going to do this one more time, bringing my needle underneath my stitching, and then before I pull it tight, I'm going to bring my needle through the little loop and then pull it tight into a knot. And then to end, I'm going to bring it underneath my stitching one more time, and I'm going to cut my thread. So then you can cut your thread and then get new thread and put it in your needle and start stitching again. We're going to be using BLANC for the rest of the ghost. To fill in the ghost, we're going to be using long and short stitch, which we actually learned with the bats. The only difference is when filling in the ghost, you're going to work your way around the eyes. Make sure that your stitches are pretty short. We don't want it to be more than about 1/2 centimeter. That way your stitching doesn't look loose. We're now going to be stitching our moon, and we're going to stitch the moon first in back stitch and then over with satin stitch. So we're going to be using 3822 for this section. We're first going to outline the moon in back stitch, and I like to outline everything in back stitch before satin stitch so that it has a crisp look. So after our backstitch outline, we're going to bring our needle up on the side of the moon in about the middle, and in the same spot on the other side of the moon, we're going to bring our needle down. Then we're going to bring our needle up right next to our previous stitch, and then back down next to our previous stitch on the other side. I'm then going to move up the moon a little bit and put a satin stitch. That way I have a guide so that when I'm filling in the sections, I don't get too wonky. So then I'm gonna fill in with satin stitches in between that, and then I'm gonna keep working my way up the moon. And as you get to the point of the moon, your stitches are going to need to get smaller every time, going with the outline of the moon. Bring your needle up and back down on the other side. We're then going to go back down and do the exact same thing on the other side of the moon. And as you can see, our outline provided a crisp look for the satin stitch. For the stars, we're doing a little bit of a unique technique with straight stitch. We are going to be doing a rotating straight stitch around the entire star with 977. We're going to bring our needle up at one of the points of the star, and then on the opposite side in that little corner, we're going to bring our needle back down. Then it doesn't matter if you go to the left or right, but on one side, right towards the top but a little bit below, we're going to bring our needle up on the left side, and then on the opposite side, the right side at the bottom, we're going to bring our needle a little bit down and pull tight. So we're going to do this again. Come up to the top on this left side a little bit further down than our previous stitch. We're going to bring our needle up, and then on the opposite side at the bottom, we're going to bring our needle down just a little bit and then pull tight. So you're going to keep doing this around the star. Each time you're going to bring your needle up at the top on the left side, and then on the opposite, the right side, we're going to bring your needle back down. And you're just going to keep doing this around the entire star, and it's going to have this cool look. And just make sure that you're making it uniform and going from one side to the other each time. The words are going to be the last thing we're stitching, and we're going to be using split stitch for this. So I'm going to do mamas and little in black thread with 3 strands. And then for Boo, I'm going to be doing orange thread with 3 strands. We're going to be doing 3 strands so it has a little bit of a thicker look. And then split stitch also makes a thicker look. Split stitch starts off like back stitch. We're going to bring our needle forward about 1/4 of a centimeter, but instead of going back to our previous stitch, we're going to split our previous stitch. So I'm going to show you again here. We're going to go forward about 1/4 of a centimeter, and then I'm going to bring my needle up and then back down and split my previous stitch. So I'm going to go take my needle through the middle of that last stitch. So you're going to keep doing this each time, coming forward about 1/4 of a centimeter, and then you're going to bring your needle down in the middle of your last stitch. If you want to do back stitch instead for the words, you can also do that. I just love split stitch for lettering. I think it looks really crisp and nice, and especially when I'm doing straight letters, I just think it's a nice technique. When we get to the top of our letter here, it is going to be the same exact process. I'm just going to move to that new line and go down about 1/4 of a centimeter, and then we're going to keep splitting our stitches in that direction. When we finish a letter, you can move on to the next letter. No need to tie off your thread every time you finish a letter. I would just recommend trying to not move a large distance between letters. If you stop at one point, try to start right next to it on the next letter. Once again for Boo, I'm actually going to do a different color, and I love how this turned out. So if you want to replicate my design, we're going to then tie off our thread on the back end, and we're going to rethread our needle with the orange thread. We're going to keep doing split stitch with our new orange thread for Boo, and then after that I'm going to show you how to wash off your pattern and back your hoop. I'm going to go ahead and keep my stitched work in the hoop, and I'm going to wash off with soap and water. As long as you make sure to use acrylic paint like I recommend, you do not need to worry about your paint running when we wash. Acrylic paint is waterproof when dry, so as long as you wait until your handprint is dry to do this project, you'll have no issues. We're going to rinse our project in running water for about 3 to 5 minutes, and you're also going to rub in soap into your project to make sure you get all the stabilizer off. If you see any discoloration, ink bleeding, or anything at all, make sure to repeat this process. We're going to let our hoop dry, and then it's going to be time to back our hoop. We're going to start by taking our project out of the hoop, and we're going to get our pattern fabric if you want to use that on the back of your hoop for a nice finished look. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it into a circle, and then I'm going to turn my project face down, and then the pattern fabric I need face out on the back side. Then we're going to place it back into the hoop, and I'm going to tighten my Beechwood hoop and make sure that it's tight like a drum. So we're going to pull our fabric taut on the outside and then keep tightening until it has a nice finished look. And then we're going to turn it over on the back side, and we're going to use 6 strands of thread, and we're going to use running stitch to tie our hoop. We're going to bring our needle from the inside of the hoop to the outside through all 3 layers of fabric. And then I'm going to, on the surface, bring my needle up, back down, and then back up. So we're going to stay on the surface the entire time doing that running stitch and then pulling tight. So I'm going to show you again here. We're going to bring our needle back down and then back up while we're still on the surface. And then we're going to pull our thread tight. And this is called running stitch. We're going to do this for the entire hoop, and then I'm going to pull it tight and tie a knot on the inside. So once we've done a running stitch for the entire hoop, I'm going to bring my needle back to the inside of the hoop, and I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to tie a knot on the inside, and then I'm going to cut off my thread. And we're done. We have a spooky Halloween handprint keepsake for our kiddo. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, I have 6 other designs in my Etsy shop for handprint keepsakes, and I hope you enjoy stitching all of these for your kids. I know I love these projects so much. Check out my YouTube for my other tutorials.